Hello, everybody. My goodness, what an exciting moment to have everyone here with us. Welcome to our 15th anniversary celebration. We have a great hour planned for you, and this is on Zoom, and it's rather intimate, or at least we want to create a sense of intimacy here. And so what I'd like to do is, for those of you who are on video right now, if you could just take a moment. We have many people who started with Refuge Point, people who've joined us recently, staff, friends, family, supporters. If you could just take a moment, if you are on video, and wave, that would be wonderful so we can see who's here. So everyone is going to be muted through this call, but you're welcome to enter something in the chat function to introduce yourself or to share how you know Refuge Point. In the next hour, we're going to celebrate what we've accomplished, and we're going to look to the future too. And as we do, we have to keep in mind that persecution, violence, and conflict have displaced more than 1% of the world's population now. All of us have images in mind of what refugees and asylum seekers face. Their circumstances are often unconscionable. And what we've seen is that COVID has immeasurably increased people's challenges and dangers. We started Refuge Point 15 years ago now because we saw an opportunity to create second chances for people who were forgotten. And thanks to the private funding that we've brought to the table, thanks to all of you, to so many people here, we've been able to bring a lot of imagination and creativity and collaborative spirit to our work. And as we look to the future, we are so immensely encouraged by all the stories of the people we've supported. These stories show us what the future can look like for so many more. So as we celebrate, I think this is a moment to celebrate second chances. Second chances and what they mean for those we support, what they mean for us, what they mean for America, and what they mean for the world. We also have to take a moment and recognize that a new Biden-Harris administration is going to lift up the welcome flag again, and we are excited to play a role in helping to reimagine and rebuild the US refugee resettlement program. As we start, I want to take a moment and say a few things to a number of different people here. For those of you who are refugees, it is a real honor to be able to accompany you on your journey and to be with you. You show us that the human spirit can overcome what seems impossible to bear. To all Refuge Point staff here, from the earliest staff to those who are working with us today, thank you. You've built something so special in the world, and you're making dreams come true, and we're going to see some of those dreams later today. To Refuge Point's board, and in particular our board chairs, Rick Wayne, Jessica Hussein, Bill Mayer, and George Lehner. Your insight, knowledge, wisdom, friendship, and love mean the world to us. We wouldn't be here without you. There are many people here today who are special supporters. You know who you are, and you've done so much to help. And thank you. The world's a better place because of you and your goodness. And to all of you here, to those who support us, whether you met us a long time ago or just now, and to the many agencies with which we work, to the UN Refugee Agency and to governments, we are really proud to stand with you for what's right and needed in the world. So now, as we get started, there are going to be some incredible stories that you'll hear. But first, we're going to hear from some of our staff and what this work means to them. So here they are.
I'm dedicated to supporting refugees because I believe in the inherent dignity and worth of every person.
Because they're human beings just like you and I, and they did not choose to leave their homes, but they were forced to by circumstances beyond their control.
Because I believe they have a right to a life with dignity, free from oppression, insecurity, and xenophobia.
I'm dedicated to supporting refugees because they prove to be the most resilient people. Through their stories, I can always sense the strength they have despite all the difficulties in life.
Because I believe everyone has a right to be protected.
Because the tables could so easily be turned. It could be me and my family on the other side of the desk. Everyone deserves a chance at a decent and meaningful life.
I'm dedicated to supporting refugees because their mental health matters. Refugees go through some of the most traumatic experiences, and they don't just survive, they thrive. Their resilience is inspiring.
I am dedicated to support RefugePoint because of the extraordinary work they do, providing new opportunities and new life to the most vulnerable people in the world, the refugees.
I support RefugePoint because RefugePoint helps the most vulnerable refugees to secure a future for themselves through safe and legal pathways. The work that RefugePoint does is absolutely essential and life-saving. Thank you for what you do, and congratulations on 15 years of working hard to protect refugees. Here's to many more.
Congratulations, RefugePoint. Happy anniversary. And I say upwards and forwards, and I know we're going to do great things in the coming years. I'm so proud to be working for RefugePoint.
Go. I want people to run into you.
I guess I should point out that Isabel Allende and Khalid Husseini are not actually RefugePoint staff. So now it's my pleasure to introduce the wonderful and inspiring Jacob Bonyo, who is RefugePoint's country director in Kenya. Jacob, take it away.
Dear friends, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Jacob Bonyo. I'm the Kenya Country Director here at RefugePoint, and I've had the privilege of working in this position for 4.5 years. At the RefugePoint office in Kenya, we work with the most vulnerable refugees who have often fallen through the cracks of humanitarian assistance. These vulnerable beneficiaries include single mothers, families with health or other challenges, refugees from LGBTIQ communities, vulnerable children, survivors of gender-based violence and torture, and others. The refugees with whom we work say that they want the same thing as you and me. They want a safe home for themselves and their families, food on the table, education for their children, an opportunity to earn an income and support themselves, and most of all, they want to be able to look to the future with hope. In the Nairobi office, we work with a group of refugees called community navigators who help us to identify and reach the most vulnerable. Once that has happened, we take them into the program, assign a case manager to each household, and begin a journey towards self-reliance to assist the beneficiaries stand on their own 2 feet. We've found that it takes about 2 years for people to get to a point where they don't need our support anymore. Based on the success we've had in Nairobi, we've helped to build a global coalition of organizations, foundations, governments to help refugees around the world to become more self-reliant. Now I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Amy Slaughter to take you through a brief timeline of our accomplishments related to the work I've described.
Get my bathroom.
Thanks, Jacob, and welcome everyone to our 15th anniversary celebration. I'm Amy Slaughter. I joined RefugePoint in 2008. Over the years, I've had the honor of serving in various roles, including Chief Operating Officer, Chief Strategy Officer, and now Senior Advisor. I'm delighted to share with you a few milestones in our self-reliance work over the years. As many of you know, RefugePoint was founded in 2005 to help resettle and provide life-saving medical care to refugees in Nairobi. Today, we support 1,500 of the most vulnerable refugees annually there. In 2011, we began hiring refugee community health workers. This team now reaches 10,000 refugees annually with important health and safety information. In 2013, we started helping refugees build small businesses to earn an income. Since then, we have helped to start or expand 1,280 refugee businesses. In 2014, we formalized our self-reliance runway approach in Nairobi. We have now helped thousands stabilize to a point where they no longer need our support. In 2018, we launched the Refugee Self-Reliance Initiative in partnership with the Women's Refugee Commission. This initiative is building a global network of diverse stakeholders to act and learn together to expand refugee self-reliance. Earlier this year, we launched the Self-Reliance Index, the first ever global tool to measure the progress of refugee households on their path to self-reliance. The index has been downloaded more than 650 times and is now in use with a dozen organizations around the world. The index is key to building an evidence base of what type of programming works best so that the most effective approaches can be funded and scaled. RefugePoint's aspiration is to change humanitarian response so that refugees don't have to rely indefinitely on aid. It's focused on dignity and the simple premise that refugees can and should be their own agents of change whenever possible. I'm now going to hand it over to Janet to tell you about our resettlement work.
Hi, my name is Janet Oma. I'm the program coordinator for resettlement, and I've been working with RefugePoint for slightly over 6 years now. Resettlement is a protection intervention that involves the identification and referral of refugees who present with certain protection profiles to third countries. We have also developed expertise in protecting and resettling unaccompanied children. We help relocate refugees to many countries around the world. Now, with the new Biden administration, there's a chance for us to rebuild and even reimagine the US resettlement system, which has historically been the largest. Our private funding and unique position in this field has led to new opportunities to build new programs that help refugees relocate to safety. Now I'm going to turn it over to Marty Anderson to take you through a brief timeline of accomplishments related to resettlement.
Thank you, Janet, and hi, everyone. My name is Marty Anderson. I'm RefugePoint's Director of International Programs and our representative in Geneva. I've been working with RefugePoint since 2009, when I was among our first cohort of resettlement experts deployed to UNHCR. Now I'm going to walk us through some of our milestones related to resettlement and related to the work we've done to open up other pathways for refugees to relocate to safety. In 2008, we established a partnership with the UN Refugee Agency, which enables us to send resettlement experts across the world to help resettle refugees. Our resettlement experts have now worked in 214 locations across 44 countries. In 2009, we started training other organizations to identify refugees for resettlement. We've now trained more than 6,000 partner staff across Africa and the Middle East. In 2011, we had our first mission to protect and resettle unaccompanied children. Since then, we've had 40 child protection experts who have worked in 19 countries and helped 14,252 refugee children. In 2018, we worked with the UN Refugee Agency to build what became at that time the largest resettlement program in the world. The center point of this effort was to evacuate unaccompanied minors from dangerous detention centers in Libya and resettle them to European Union countries. In 2018, together with the Canadian government and other partners, we launched the Economic Mobility Pathways Project, which aims to relocate refugees in Kenya to Canada through work visas to take up jobs in companies that need skilled employees. In 2019, in collaboration with the UN Refugee Agency and the International Refugee Assistance Project, we launched the Family Reunification Pilot Project to help reunite unaccompanied children with their parents. As of 2020, we have helped 87,503 refugees access resettlement to over a dozen countries around the world, including the US, Canada, Australia, and countries throughout Europe. Through other activities that I've mentioned here, we've contributed to a global system that has helped 1.5 million refugees access resettlement since we started.
Thanks, Marty and Janet and Jacob and Amy for that. So we have helped a lot of people to get to a lot of different places where they've rebuilt their lives. We want to show you some of those stories in the US now. You know, in this political season, we've heard talk about the soul of America, and you're going to hear some words from people we've helped get to the US. And to me, these stories and these people are part of that soul. Bringing refugees here is, in my mind, one of the proudest things that our country does, and one of the proudest things that all countries in the world do to support refugees. So here are the stories of some of the people we've supported.
Welcome, 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 welcome. The war started in Congo in 1996. That's when they started attacking our villages. It was at night. We had shoutings, shootings. They were burning houses.
How old were you? How old are you now? You're 23?
25.
25? So this was 10 years ago.
I think.
So you were like 15.
Yeah, that time I was young.
That's a lot of people they've helped.
Here, you open it.
Your application for refugee status in the United States has been conditionally approved. I stopped there.
Justin. Yes. Habari yako? Karibu, karibu. Naitwa Maimuna.
My name is Asmira. Welcome to the United States.
Thank you very much. My name is Justin Semahoro Kimenyerwa from DRC Congo. I live in Missouri, St. Louis. And I work with U.S. Department of Labor. I got a chance to get education here in U.S. at AMSO, where I got my bachelor degree in international relations. And this week I was able to buy my first home in U.S. Show you my wife Amy, and I have my firstborn. Her name is Queen. Queen, say hi, Mama. Hi. Her name is Queen Wayne. And I have the young one. Her name is, what is it, Mama? Gael Wayne. And the younger one, Joel, is sleeping. I now just moved in this house. I don't know whether you are seeing it well, but this is where I just moved. This is where I just moved. The kids, you can see my kids are playing, and my wife is standing there. She can wave. Yes, and those are 2 cars. So thank you. And this is our street. This is our neighborhood. The neighborhood, that's where we moved, and it's nice. We really like it. We really like it here. Thank you, and God bless you.
I was a refugee for 15 years in Kenya, and when I was there, Refugee Point helped me a lot, and emotionally and financially, and even to resettle to US and rebuild my life again. Refugee Point is a voice for the voiceless, a help for helpless, and give a chance and opportunity to change a life like me.
My name is Amelia Abiem, and I am from South Sudan. I reside in Seattle, Washington. and I am a social worker. I have come of age amidst violence, hardship, and loss, but these difficulties and challenges do not define me because I am a survivor. In 2008, Refuge Point relocated and supported me and my baby in our move from Kenya to the United States. Refuge Point assistance improved the situation of my family. This assistance gave us hope and the strength to overcome and survive daily traumas. This connection stayed with me and it has transformed into a story of hope, perseverance, and a dream to return to the country of my upbringing to advocate for disadvantaged populations.
Hi everyone, welcome you all on this event of 15 years anniversary of Refugee Point. My name is Emayaka. I come from Uganda. I was in Kenya in 2015 seeking asylum and going through the process of resettlement. I was able to be employed by Refugee Point in 2015 in July to work as a community navigator, community mobile navigator, supporting refugees to access medical services in Nairobi and outskirts of Nairobi. I was serving all refugees and more especially LGBT community. Here in the United States, Chicago, as I said before, and I do work with Heartland Alliance, the Organization for Refugees and Migrants. Let's celebrate, but let's keep supporting refugees globally. Thank you very much.
Greetings. My name is Daniel Lake Go. I'm from South Sudan. I came to the United States of America as a refugee in 1995. Because of people like you, I am able to do many things in my life. I am currently in active duty in the United States Army, a commissioned officer with the rank of captain. I have also been able to pursue my education. I'm currently holding a PhD in public policy and administration. I'm grateful. Thank you. God bless.
I'm originally from Sudan and I lived in Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya before I came to the US in 2009 as a refugee. When I came, I was in Fargo, North Dakota, and that's where I started my journey, finished school, came to Washington, D.C., working for a U.S. Senator as an intern. And then from there, I worked for 2 different organizations until I landed a job with the U.S. government as a policy analyst for the State Department. And I cover East Africa region right now.
Hi, Refugee Point. Just want to wish you happy 15th anniversary. I can't believe that it's been 15 years since you guys have been doing such a great job. My name is Edith. I started out as a refugee with Refugee Point, I believe in 2005, maybe between 2005 and 2007. I was resettled in the US in 2009. From there, when I was back in Africa, Refugee Point helped me with a lot of things, school fees, helped me with rent, and then when I got resettled, they helped me resettle to the United States in 2009. From there, I was able to come here, go to college, graduate. I work as a nurse, and now I have my beautiful family right here. This is my funny daughter, Sophia. She's 1, and that's my husband, Adam. And we just want to wish you guys a happy 15th anniversary.
Happy 15th anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
From the Thai family.
All right, bye-bye.
I've watched that a number of times leading up to this point, and I feel so moved every time. Thank you, everybody, for playing a role in all that we do and for making those situations come to life. So thanks, Justin, Makeda, Daniel, Emma, Mohi, Amelia, and Edith for taking the time to make those videos for us. That is so incredibly special and so moving. Thanks too to the filmmakers, Michael Kleiman and Michael Pertnoy, for helping us with these videos and for the footage that we used there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to share a reunion story with you. Many people have said that RefugePoint's work to reunite mothers with their children and family members is some of the most powerful work we can do. And I want to thank, as we go into this story, Christine and Jonathan, whom you'll meet in the story, and their children for sharing such an intimate moment in their lives with us. For those of you who attended the Charles Bronfman Prize a decade ago now, you may remember Christine, who spoke at that prize. And I also want to thank Michael Pertnoy, who made this video that you're about to watch. And after the video, you'll see that we catch up with Christine. So here we go with a reunion video.
The situation is in Congo, the war is going on up to now. Since January 2001, I'm not seeing my wife. The first day to me to see my wife again is today.
When the war broke out in the Congo, Christine's husband was out of the country and he was denied re-entry. She and her sons went to go live in a missionary. One day when Christine went to get water in the local river, she was kidnapped, and during that time she was treated brutally and suffered a lot of physical injuries that will never be repaired.
I really don't remember that much. To think that something bad is going on and something like very difficult is going through my life right now. I was just young and I was just living through it.
On 2004, November, they came to tell me, your wife, she's dead. And I have the letter, official letter. My wife, she's dead.
When Christine was in the hospital recovering, a local newspaper ran a story about what happened in the Congo, and they featured Jonathan and his sons, and it ran in the paper. Someone that Christine knew saw it and brought it back to the Congo and showed it to her.
When I was in Congo, without knowing where my family was, I had that hope that one day I will be with them.
You see now today, my wife should be here together to live with me. So I'm very, very, very happy for that.
Remembering all the back memory, it's kind of like flashback pictures come into your mind, and you're looking what has happened before and what is about happening now, and you can't believe it.
Very emotional also. I cried, but the tears was the tears of joy. I really, really thank people because they show me their love. Since I was with them up to here to United States, these people are really, really helped me a lot when I was in Kenya. They are very close with people who are going through their organization.
Itakaza mwendo kumfata Yesu. Itakaza mwendo kumfata Yesu. Itakaza mwendo kumfata Yesu. Maishani mwangu.
And when I found my husband and my children, that was like, oh, I have no word to say. That was amazing.
It was amazing, but it was a little bit tearful too. Everybody cried, and it was very sad, but everybody were happy because we saw him physically. When Jacob came, so we get reunited, the entire family, and we live now here. It's so amazing. Because when we get reunited, it was a little bit hard for me to be reconnected again with them after all these years, like 6-7 years we were separated. But right now, it's good.
It's good.
All the boys now are finished school, except Jacob, who graduated in, I think, next week. I'm working as a nurse aide, and I'm still going to school too. But right now I'm a CNA that they call nurse aide.
When they came in the United States, people who we don't know them, they came to helping Philip and John, Peter with the homework. And the same way, they wanted to help also our kids for our community. So like Jesus is talking with the disciples from the book of John 13, verse 34 to 35. He said, a new commandment I'm giving it to you, love one another like I'm loving you to all the nations. See, you, my disciples, if you love one another. So that is the way I'm teaching my children every day. United States of America is a blessing because of the love. And the God is the love. We're praying for all the nation and to blessing you are on zero.
Love one another. The United States of America is a blessing because of the love. If that's not part of the soul of our nation, then nothing is. So now we're coming to the end of our program, and we have a very special person to introduce to you. It's my pleasure to introduce Sandra Uiringi-Imana. She's a friend, a board member, an author who wrote the stunning book, How Dare the Sun Rise. She's also someone who started a nonprofit to help women in the Congo, and she's an invaluable voice for women and girls. So Sandra, it's such a pleasure to have you here. And here we go with Sandra's words.
Thank you so much, Sasha, for that introduction. I'm so happy and privileged to be a part of this celebration. I'm so proud of everything that Refuge Point has been able to accomplish in the last 15 years. As a former refugee, I always knew there was a lot of work to be done when it comes to how we treat refugees globally. My family was resettled in 2007, and when we arrived, it became very clear to me that most people did not understand our journey, and in fact, thought of our journey as if it began and ended in America. That is, of course, not true. My family spent 3 years in 2 different countries looking for a place to call home. It's there that I felt most invisible to the world. That is why I think Refuge Point is so special. They're one of the few organizations that recognizes that refugees need support in those countries of asylum because the reality is that they may never get resettled. My favorite thing about this organization is that they continue to find innovative and dignified ways to support refugees at every stage. The self-reliance work that Refuge Point does in Nairobi is a type of work that I think should be implemented by all who seek to help refugees. The last 4 years have been so depressing to watch as America continued to shut its doors to more and more refugees. I couldn't help but think of asylum seekers like myself who hung on to the hope of being resettled and finally finding a place to call home. People who are living in limbo with little to no assistance. Though America is far from perfect, one of the things that I felt they've always gotten right was opening their doors to asylum seekers. We need to bring this back, especially today because the world needs it. Refugees are not a burden, but rather great additions to our country. We've seen so many American communities transform because of refugees. Places like Buffalo, New York, that were depressed economically, are now vibrant because of refugees who've started businesses and brought new culture and new life. That is why I'm so proud to be a part of this milestone for an incredible organization. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you to the staff and everyone who's had a hand in supporting Refuge Point over the last 15 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra, for always being so inspiring. So we've come to the end of our program, and I hope what has happened here is that you're leaving us with an even deeper understanding of what a second chance means, what it means for people who are refugees, what it means for us, what it means for America, and what it means for the world. As we celebrate this moment, we're thrilled and excited about the future too. We've put together a 3-year strategic plan that is going to dramatically increase second chances for people around the world. And we are hugely excited about the opportunity to implement that, to work with others, to reach so many more in need, because we face an unprecedented moment in history at this time. And we need all hands together on deck to do this, to provide lives of dignity to those who otherwise might be overlooked and forgotten. So please consider making a donation if you haven't already. We're putting a link in the chat box, and you can also go to our website to do that. But we are here because of the private support that we've received from all of you and from so many more. So thank you everybody for being here. If you joined us late, we're going to just put on the slideshow that we had at the very beginning, which highlights some of our work and also some people who sent in words of congratulations. But this has been so exciting to spend this time with you. Thank you everybody for the comments you put in the chat, for your thoughts, for playing a role in building something that means so much to so many people in the world. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you.